Hello and welcome to another episode of Mind Over Chatter. This is your host Krishna Marathe, and today we are going to talk about morning routine. What you do in the morning essentially sets the tone for the rest of your day. What you manage to accomplish in the morning sets you off in the direction of everything that you want to accomplish throughout your day. Almost everyone that you consider successful or anyone that you consider even reasonably accomplished will tell you that they have some sort of a morning routine or the other. Now, if we are like most other people, what the morning will look like is as follows. The alarm goes off on our cell phones, and then we turn over and look at it, and either we snooze it or we have to wake up, but we stay on the phone even after the alarm has been snoozed or if it has been shut. We stay on the phone, we quickly go onto Twitter or onto Instagram or onto Facebook, check our notifications, check our emails. That's it. I mean, that is one way of not doing the morning routine, and that is definitely the least productive way. And I'll tell you why. As soon as you open your eyes, your brain is a bit like a clean slate. You can write whatever you wish on that. But if you allow the phone or your reflex to go to the phone and go to social media to take over, then you've already lost a degree of control right there. You no longer choose how your morning begins. Instagram is instead choosing it for you, or Facebook is choosing it for you. And that does not remain an empowering morning at all. What a lot of people recommend doing, and I stand by it as well, is either have an alarm clock and not look at your phone at all, especially the first 15 minutes to 30 minutes after you wake up. That's one option. Or if you have a degree of self-control, then just shut the alarm and get up without getting sucked into, these time-sucking vampires that social media are. So here are 5 tips to begin your morning routine. Tip number 1. Your morning routine actually begins the evening before. What time you sleep depends on what time you eat your dinner. What time you eat your dinner also depends on sort of the meal that you have before that, so on and so forth. So you need to plan your morning routine the previous night. If it is possible, have dinner no later than 8 or 8:30 p.m. Hit the bed by 11 p.m. and then begin your morning at 6:30 or 7 a.m. That way you have 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and then you can wake up in the morning, and then you have no excuse to say that I don't have time to meditate or I don't have time to stretch my body because I have to rush to work. Give yourself time in the morning. So tip number 1 again, your morning routine actually begins the night before. Tip number 2 is, as soon as you roll out of your bed, make your bed. There's a great talk by Admiral William McRaven on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search "make your bed" and you'll get that. Making your bed is an extremely beneficial psychological exercise because that helps you to accomplish something without much time investment right at the beginning of the day, and it sets you off in a better productive mindset for the rest of the day. Tip number 3. After you're done brushing, please have at least 1 glass of plain water. Essentially, when you sleep at night, you have gone without water for 7 to 8 hours. Wake up your internal organs by having a glass of plain water. I do not even need to stress the importance of having water and enough water throughout our day, but especially in the morning. It wakes up your internal organs, helps them to function properly, and also the tip number 4 that's going to follow is really important that you have water before that. And therefore, tip number 4 is that incorporate some sort of physical movement, some fitness, some exercise routine right before you begin to do anything, before you keep that kettle of chai or the pot of coffee. Do make sure that you involve some sort of bodily exercise. It could be sun salutations, it could be some form of yoga, it could be some sort of stretching or animal flow, body weight exercises, or just jogging on the spot for 10 or 15 minutes. Get your heart rate up Listen to audiobooks, listen to this podcast, listen to any other podcast, listen to music while you do that. It does not matter. But physical exercise right in the morning will set you in a completely different mindset. This shows your mind and it shows your body that you are the one in control. Trust me, nobody willingly likes to exercise, especially when it's not a habit yet. Nobody wants to do it. So, there you are, a bit of a slave to your mind and a slave to your whims and fancies, a slave to your laziness, slave to chai, even. And trust me, even I am guilty of that. But when you do some sort of movement, some sort of exercise, get your blood pumping, it shows your mind who is really in charge. And tip number 5 is meditate. I know that word has a lot of connotations for all of us, and the simple meaning of meditation for me is deconcentration. It is the opposite of concentration. Just literally sit in any comfortable position, preferably on the ground, cross legged, maybe on the couch, but sit with yourself for 15 minutes. Focus on any sound that is not musical, not rhythmic. The sound of your fan, the sound of something drilling outside your house, the sound of birds if you're lucky, the sound of train, vehicles, whatever it is. Some sort of a sound that you won't be able to interpret, or it does not bring out any sort of emotion or more thoughts into your head. Any such sound, the sound of a dripping faucet is also fine. Just sit with yourself for some time. Just listen to the sound. Focus on your breathing a little bit. That's it. 5 or 10 minutes. If you want to sit longer, that's even better. But 5 or 10 minutes, that's all you need. But this is an extremely important practice. It, I think, helps you to sort of set your mind in the direction that you want it to go. Sometimes you need to trick your own mind into doing some things that it clearly protests against, but you trick it into doing some things, like even meditation. In fact, you'll notice that in the first few days of meditation, when you sit down with your eyes closed, you will get an even more flurry of thoughts, and even more flurry of absurd thoughts that you've never thought in your conscious waking state. You'll get all those thoughts during meditation, but let them come. That is the practice, to let the thought come and still not get involved with it. That is the practice. Also, it is important because all the people that we admire in our lives, they will also tell you that they have some sort of a practice, either meditation or some practice of mindfulness. I love that word, mindfulness. Consciously sitting and giving yourself that 5 or 10 minute break, 5 or 10 minute vacation in the day, I think is really, really important. Saying that I don't have time to meditate is like saying I don't have time to do the only thing that will work. I don't have time to do the only thing that will actually calm my mind. I don't have time to do the only thing that will actually help my mind focus. Having said that, I believe that physical exercise and meditation both are equally important. One is not more important than the other. I think both are equally important for an optimally functioning mind and body. So now just imagine that you have woken up at 7, and by the time it is 7:30 or 7:40, you have finished all this. You have finished making your bed. You've not looked at your phone, so there is no external distraction. You have given something to your body, some sort of an exercise, some stretching, and then you've given something to your mind as well, for it to focus, for it to shed some weight. And you have given yourself some space in your mind for better thoughts to come by silencing your mind. You've done all this before 7:40. Now do get your banana, have your chai, have your breakfast, do whatever you want. Now you have already taken control of the day. So please do this and let me know how you feel. If you have any tips of your own for a morning routine, then please send it to me. My email is followkrishnamarathe@gmail.com. I repeat, follow krishnamarathe@gmail.com. Please follow me on Instagram as well. You can DM me over there. My Instagram handle is the Marathe. I am also on Twitter with the same handle, the Marathe. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and until next time, adios.